Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Deus Ex Human Revolution. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today as we go upstairs after we discovered what's going on with the... I don't remember the name of the drug, but the drug that apparently is being smuggled out of here, and we can't do much about it right now, but it's fine. Maximum load, 963 pounds. How detailed is that? What? Excuse me. Is that the president right now? I think that might be the president. Who's this person?
Excuse me.
Mr. Jensen, isn't it?
Sir, you have that charity dinner?
In a moment, Isaiah. I was hoping I might run into you, Mr. Jensen. Bill Taggart.
The founder of the Humanity Front. I know who you are.
Yes, I imagine you do. As David Sarah's top security man, I imagine you have quite the file on me. But I assure you, Mr. Jensen, I am devastated by recent events.
Really?
I do not support what you and your company are doing to mankind. I believe it's extremely dangerous. But abolishing human enhancement technologies will only be achieved through legal means.
I'll keep that in mind.
This is your first day back since the accident 6 months ago, isn't it?
Sir, we have to go.
What happened to me was no accident.
Ah, my mistake. But it must have been stressful facing down a second incident so soon. I imagine it brought back all kinds of unpleasant memories.
So he's being painted here as a bureaucrat. And also he's being portrayed as a hostage as well. His guards are basically making him look like a baby. But I think that's just bad writing. We don't need to think too hard about that bit. I don't think he's a hostage. But he's being painted here. There's two specific things here that are part of his character. He thinks that prohibit or regulation, at least, or the solution for the issue that we have at hand here is going to be done through legal means, whatever that is, because it's also like you can't read too much about that, because if you were to say through legal means, what do you mean through legal means? Of course it's through legal means. The proliferation of the stronghold of corporations have on the health of people in the setting and in real life is also done through legal means. It's still not like the law, in the sense that, the law doesn't say corporations will have control. Please, would you please make sure that corporations have control? Thank you. That's the law. No, that's not how the law works. The law allows for something, and so it is through legal means that something happens, because, it's legal. But he's not saying that. What he's saying is saying through legislation, that it needs to be regulated through legislation, which is really weird for him to say if you were, expecting him to be on the side of the downtrodden. So he's being portrayed as him not being on the side of the downtrodden. Right from the start. Huh. And that plays into my decision here. Obviously, he's trying to make us upset. So, yeah.
My memories are none of your damn business, Taggart.
Did I hit a nerve? Forgive me. It's my nature as a psychologist, I suppose, to want to ask the difficult questions. You see, I find that ignoring them doesn't make them go away. You might want to keep that in mind. Now, if you'll be so kind as to excuse me.
He also jumps a little bit on his feet. Do you see one of his animations where he's like up and down, up and down? That's the thing that people do with their feet. Stretch get your ankles off the floor a little bit, but just stay on the tips of your toes. Is it the balls of the feet? I don't know. Anyway, we can question him or challenge him. Yeah, let's go with challenge.
Not just yet. You got a lot of balls coming here after your followers attacked our plant. What makes you think you'd be welcome?
They were not my followers, Mr. Jensen. The Humanity Front is a peaceful organization. Radicals have no place in it.
Right.
Do you know why I formed this organization? Because I saw a technology about to run rampant. You yourself seem to be living proof of it.
I'd be dead without these enhancements.
I understand that. I also understand that on an individual level, these issues can be complicated. But we must look beyond our personal interests if we are to see mankind survive the next century.
We'll survive, all right.
Oh, that's
With or without your condolences.
that's a good that's a good dialogue right there. That's really good. He says he's misdirecting. He says we must look beyond our personal interests if we are to survive. Now, I don't doubt that he means for us to survive, but that we must look beyond our personal interests. He's saying something else through those words. What he's saying is that I, Jensen, must look beyond my, Jensen's, personal interests if we as a humanity are to survive. He's not going to look past behind his personal interests. He's very much looking at his personal interests. There's another thing over there that in that dialogue as well that paints him as, again, that just reinforces him as a bureaucrat. And when I say bureaucrat, I mean, a politician, just somebody that does deal with the legality of things, or not legality, but there's a legalese of it. Anyway, the point is, he says, my organization is peaceful. We don't tolerate radicals. And what is he saying here? He's equating being a radical in beliefs, rather in actions and attitudes and whatnot. Being a radical is the same as not being peaceful, which is obviously false. We can think of easily just Martin Luther King, who was a radical, or the one that I was thinking of before. I just went with Martin Luther King because he was also a radical and peaceful, radically peaceful. But it was the other one, the one in India. Dang it, Gandhi, right? Gandhi as well. The one in India. That's the famous radical, peaceful, anti-oppression person. That's why I'm saying the one in India. He was Indian as well. But Mahatma Gandhi, he has another name. He has his real name, actually, because Gandhi is a nickname. It's a given name. The point is, he was also a radical, and he was also peaceful. Funny enough that they both got killed as well, but I'm not advocating for violence here. The point is, he is saying that the only peace is achieved through not being a radical. Now, who says that? Well, people who are in power, but also people who are in the middle of it all, in the centrists. That's what I mean to say. People who don't want to see the boat rocked too hard. Wait, these people are... You're not a bodyguard?
You're Taggart's aide, aren't you? Dr. Isaiah Sandoval, isn't it?
No need to play ignorant, Mr. Jensen. I am quite sure you have a file on me that's as thick as the one you have on Mr. Taggart.
You're an outspoken activist in your own right, Dr. Sandoval.
When you have seen the things that I have, you find you have no choice but to stand up and be counted. Frankly, I am surprised an ex-cop like yourself isn't more disturbed by the dangers of this technology.
Augmentations help a lot of people, Doc. Handicapped, war vets.
Yes, but at what cost? My own friend had his life ruined by these so-called enhancements of yours. A man much like you who had no choice but to become augmented. Yet once he was... Too much power can make you do terrible things, Mr. Jensen. I suggest you think long and hard on that.
Either this guy is... This game does not understand the role of police in society. Yeah, I'm just jumping to that conclusion here. It's not jumping to conclusion. There's a reason why. It has been foreshadowed in the game, but you can always understand it as something else. But he's actively saying that I, as a police, should know better. The police, the famous, well, it's not an entity, but the people, just whatever, multiple entities, but the class, let's just call it a class. The famous class that is very much against, things that can be used to hurt people. Yes, the police shouting in the streets, defund the police, demilitarize the police. That's what they're doing. That's not what they're doing, though. The police wouldn't know the dangers of this. Or rather, they would know, but they wouldn't be against not developing them, because the role of police is to control this sort of stuff and other stuff as well. But, the reason why a police officer, or an ex-police officer, whatever, or I say a police officer, but of course, you know, the reason why a police officer would tend to, because there's always exceptions, naturally, but would tend to be okay with this sort of stuff is because their job as a police officer is to make sure that this sort of stuff doesn't get out of hand. So the reason why a police officer, for example, in the United States, since we're talking about the United States, tends to be against, even though things are changing a little bit as of the time of recording, in regards to popular, not popular because that's not the police, but in regards to the general attitude towards gun legislation. But the reason why in the United States police officers tend to be against gun legislation is precisely that, because they're the ones that, you know, they don't need the legislation. They're the ones that are, they're taking care of that job. At least that's on principle why it works like that. In reality, politics plays. It's very complicated, obviously, because, you know, partisanship, and is that the word? Partisanism, perhaps. Anyway, the point is, politics are complicated. Yeah, but he doesn't. Either he's just pulling my leg for no reason, or I think the game doesn't understand the role of police, which is not necessarily a surprise, because, you know, that's just, yeah.
I'd like to hear more about your friend, Dr. Sandoval. What exactly did he do?
Nothing.
Was he injured in the Gulf?
He went on a rampage in a shopping mall, if you must know, hoping to be gunned down by the police, rather than face a lifetime battling augmentation addiction.
He was addicted to augments?
They don't talk about it in those corporate brochures of yours, do they? Neuropathy dependency, rejection psychosis, any number of physical and psychological ills have resulted from this technology, and yet we rarely hear a word about them.
I'm sure the literature is out there.
No thanks to the throng of corporate lawyers attempting to stop it.
Your friend, did he succeed? Did he suicide by cop?
No. Bill Taggart talked him down.
Well, it must have been a white friend then, because that's how that works. Anyway, let's Bill Taggart talk him down. This fella over here. He went in there into the shopping mall. Hey, please stop shooting. Hi, excuse me.
Athena, you've been at this company a long time.
I hope that's not a comment about my age, Adam.
No, but I know nothing gets by you. If Sarif had done something that could compromise us.
Mr. Sarif has only the best interests of this company in mind, Adam.
I'm not questioning that.
Aren't you? I've been here since the beginning. I've seen how he built this up from nothing. He cares for his people. He truly believes what we're doing is important, and he would never do anything to jeopardize it.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, you shouldn't have. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy.
That doesn't give me confidence at all, that she says, no, you shouldn't. Man, the game really doesn't want us to believe. I mean, it's actually well done. But the game still doesn't want us to believe that he's not doing something to jeopardize the company. Because if the game did want us to believe that he's not, she would have been, no, it's okay to have doubts. It's just, you know, it's important to, you know, have a constructed, reasonable critique of the ones that are above you in the hierarchy that you belong to, and that's the only way that you can really trust them. You know, if you just blind loyalty is not loyalty at all. It's fear at the end of the day, unless it's just, you know, blindness. Hey, look who it is. I must say that I don't understand what that question was about. Like, did he do something to jeopardize the company? I am not connecting the dots here. I don't know what Jensen is thinking. But I guess we're gonna find out. So he's looking at his ball. What is that? That is a cool glove is what that is. Look at that. That is beautiful. Beautiful hand. Baseball. That is a baseball ball. Do you say it like that? Baseball ball? Because I think you would have. Because otherwise it's weird, isn't it? Anyway, I'm Portuguese. The names of the sports don't include the word for ball in Portuguese. Like baseball, we just call it baseball, and it's just written in a different way, and we say bola for a ball, so it's a bola de baseball. Hey, Sarif, do you speak Portuguese?
Boss, we need to talk.
Is something wrong?
I'm not sure. Did you set up a private access route to bypass the company firewall right before you hired me?
What?
Pritchard said someone's been using it to access our system since before the first attack. The security measures he and I set in place never stopped them because we didn't even know the loophole existed.
Oh, I see. Frank's fixed that, though, right?
He has now. But he's wondering why you never mentioned it.
Frank's paranoid, Adam. You know that. Can a busy man forget things once in a while?
You streamed an awful lot of data through that portal, boss. Right before you brought me on board. Pritchard may be paranoid, but I gotta admit, I'm wondering what was in it too.
Yeah, as an ex-cop, I guess you would. But the important thing is you found the hole and plugged it. We're secure now. And the information you uncovered in that FEMA facility may actually help us track these guys. So let's just stay focused on what's important.
Okay, that is an interesting... Yeah, he's giving a little bit beta signals there, but I think alpha signals here went up to 2. He's aggressive, excitable, and envious. He's not afraid to use his authority to get his way, and doesn't like to be defied. So placate. I don't remember. Oh, I guess we're gonna have to choose. This is a different type of persuasion. Yeah, we're gonna... Oh!
Adam?
Nope.
Are we done here?
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you freaking dare, video game. Give me a timer. I'll freaking cheat in your face. I mean, I didn't... That came out all right. Cheat, as in, you know, I'm cheating, not the other word that is a swear word. What I mean is, I will just pause the feed and I will ramble, because I will ramble through fire and fury. I will ramble. Anyway, the point is, what I'm trying to say here is, the reason why I didn't remember that, oh man, that's actually that's a weird thing that the game does. The reason why I didn't remember that he might be doing something to jeopardize the company is because when we found out that there was a backdoor that Pritchard himself didn't know about, and that a lot of data was passed through it, I didn't realize that backdoor had been put in by the big honcho of the company, and that the big honcho was the one to use it to transfer a lot of data. And the reason for that is because that's not the most reasonable assumption to make in a situation like that. As I explained at the time, this is not an uncommon thing to do, unfortunately, for many reasons, unfortunately. But unfortunately, it isn't a very uncommon thing to do in things I even mentioned, Intel and whatnot, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but not really. But anyway, the point is, this does happen. Backdoors, engineered backdoors, do happen, and they're put in without the knowledge of you know, some engineers, and usually it's very complicated. So we need to, you know, make some leaps of reasoning here to make sure that you know, it works in the setting, because Pritchard seems to be the higher up in terms of engineers. So I'm not even sure if he could code better than Pritchard for Pritchard not to spot a backdoor. Although it's not necessarily very difficult to implement a backdoor, because usually it's, you know, computer engineering is very complicated. So it isn't impossible, and to the point where a lot of backdoors, when they're found, that you only really know they're a backdoor if you find the documents that imply that people put them there on purpose, and if you just find a security vulnerability, you don't really know that it is a backdoor. But that's the reason why I didn't remember, is because we were supposed to jump to the conclusion that Pritchard himself must have done that, which I find it's a very naive. Honestly, I find it's a naive conclusion. So add that to another thing that this game doesn't understand. That's fair. It's fair enough, but at least I'm on the right. I'm on the same. I'm on the same level as the game now. I understand where the game is going, so that's good. And I'm sorry if I misled you, because this might have also my commentaries about it might have also led you in a wrong direction of understanding the plot here. The plot is that he was... Man, Pritchard should have drawn the conclusions, not me. But whatever, the game does have the advantage of our character being able to, you know, talk more than we ourselves as players can. So, let's see. Of course, you're right, and maybe Pritchard paranoia is rubbing off on me. I think placating is gonna do a good thing. Because we don't want to start off, like, right away, right? I could refocus his thing, but he also does that. Well, sometimes trying to change the subject in order to win an argument. And this option here is obviously the game is trying to be very cute with us, and it is absolutely not. This is awful. This is a terrible design. I want to believe me, unless he, of course, was... He would be terrible design even if he said different things every time. He doesn't. I want to believe... excuse the believe me. Believe me, I want to catch these guys as badly as you do, but that breach is responsible for every security crisis we've had, including today's. If you want me to stop these guys, I need to know what kind of data they have access to. I think...
So, I guess we understand each other now.
I think that is such a dumb line. I think the refocus is a good one. Let's hope that it is.
I want to, believe me. I want to catch these guys as badly as you do. But that breach is responsible for every security crisis we've had, including today's. If you want me to stop these guys, I need to know what kind of data they've had access to.
You're right, you're right. I'm sorry if I seem evasive. But there's something you're not getting here, Adam. Business is war, with no clear battleground and no rules to keep our enemies honest. In this company, I'm the commander-in-chief, and I have to be ready for anything, and I will do anything to ensure that I am. Now, I hired you because I needed a general I could trust, one who knows how to obey orders.
Giving more beta signals. I didn't pay attention to the beginning one, but I don't think that matters. So I think placate now is a good thing.
Whoa, don't get me wrong, boss. I'm not questioning your leadership. I'm just concerned that the data you streamed might have been compromised, accessed by the hacker who attacked us. If so, how do you suggest I handle it?
Good question. I guess we should consider every possibility. Look, I'm not gonna share every single detail of this data with you. As CEO of this company, there are things I can't release, even to you, Frank, or Athena. I consider us all a team here, but we each have our own roles to fill. I decide who gets trusted with what, and in this case, you're just gonna have to do your job without knowing all the facts. Megan said you could roll with the punches. Proof she was right.
Ooh, and we can... Oh, there it is, yeah. And we can now use our pheromones to influence them, which I will do. But also, Jensen's lips taste of boot so hard. That was the lickingest of bootists ever. So let's go with a pheromone here. So let's remember which one it is. Betas can be appealed to. Omegas are susceptible to pressure, and alphas can be appeased. Let's go with it.
Boss, I really don't understand why you're giving me the runaround. When you hired me, I said I'd give you the best I could, but I can't protect us if you keep hamstringing my every move. If you won't level with me and tell me what it is you're hiding, then I'm out of here. I quit.
Adam, wait. You can't leave us. We need you. Now more than ever. All right. Look, the truth is, I set up a confidential data channel for a private investigator, someone who can run covert background checks on people, potential new recruits, like you.
You what?
I had to, Adam. You were a liability, remember? You'd just been fired from SWAT. Now, Megan believed in you, but I had to be sure. Look, I don't want this to come between us. I'll send the files to your computer. You can see for yourself what he dug up. But Adam, you'd better be sure.
Why? What do you mean?
I mean, sometimes the past should stay in the past. Once you see that data, you can't unring the bell. When you're ready, come back and talk to me.
You can indeed
discuss our next move.
You can indeed unring the bell. It's a feature YouTube has. And if you have rung the bell on my YouTube channel, thank you. But you're gonna get 4 notifications a day. which is fine if you like that, but I can't understand how people do that. So look after yourself if you're watching this video on YouTube, which you probably are, considering this is released on YouTube. And that's gonna be that for this episode. It is really dumb that his backdoor is just he sent an encrypted email to somebody. That's all you have to. It is. So yeah, this. Whoever wrote this storyline doesn't understand computer security. So it's just it's all. I mean, this is a game from 2012. It's this is the age of CSI and all that, all the terrible. The television had the same problem, so this is probably written by somebody with the same things. But yeah, he wouldn't need to set up a private thing, anything, backdoors, whatever. None of what I said applies to here. He just had an undisclosed Zoom chat with somebody. That's all he had. That's all he had. Yeah, and it's all encrypted. So it's like encrypting something makes it it doesn't make it untraceable, but it makes it you can't tell what it is. Usually, as a company like this, you don't even need to do that. All you need to do is send an email and encrypt it, of course. But then again, emails are encrypted by default. You should just need to send an email with some files. That's it. Or upload it to WeTransfer, because it's also HTTPS, so that's also encrypted. That's all. That's it. It doesn't need anything else. Just delete your browser history after. It's fine. Because it's encrypted. It's fine. It's forever. And unless you're running through a really malicious firewall inside the company, which in this case it probably would be the case. But in this case, malicious means... Actually, you know what? They wouldn't have encryption. The encryption wouldn't be on their side, because they would have... Everything would be so controlled, in a dystopic setting like this, I mean. Everything would be so controlled that he wouldn't be able to access a single porn site without Pritchard being capable of knowing. Everything he does would be encrypted after leaving his computer. And if something leaves his computer while being encrypted, Pritchard would be able to tell. So he would have to set up some sort of back channel, which still wouldn't make sense, because Pritchard would... It still wouldn't make sense. Anyway, we're not meant to analyze this a whole lot, because then we're thinking, why didn't you just send the files over your cell phone or something? Yeah, we're not meant to think too hard about this. It's a simple story, unfortunately, and I was overthinking it, and I am overthinking it. But not in some aspects, like in regards to the role of police in society, because, that's what this setting does. This setting overthinks that, and it takes it into a dystopic thing. Including police. Just think of RoboCop, which is basically this. It's basically this type of setting. And it is also thinking about the role of police and the militarization of police and all that. Anyway, that's going to be that for today. I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Deus Ex Human Revolution. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.